Hello there, welcome back. Here we're going to have a session today with Jason Laster, and I'll bring him up on screen right now and unmute. There you are. Hi, Jason.
Hey,
How you doing?
not too bad.
So it's Tazewell, Tennessee, not Tazewell. I was wondering about that, and you fixed that
Yeah,
for me before we
that is
started.
correct.
All right.
Yep.
So you sent me an email. And I'm going to go over here and read it, and then you're going to elaborate. It says, and this is in the description of this video, but I don't know if people will take the time to read that before they watch the video. That's from Friday last week, so May 21st. Hey, Doug, I was actually referred to you by Carey Holzman. Where is he? There. Thank you, Carey.
Yeah,
I have got into putting PCs together as a hobby. I am interested in going past just putting stuff together and calling it good. Eventually, I'd like to turn this into paying work. Can you point me in the right direction? Yeah, it's over there. Right there. Right there. No, kidding. All right, hey, fill us in. What's the rest of the story?
Well, so anyways, what got me initially interested in just PCs in general is my brother had put together a gaming computer so he can play video games. Well, he actually decided to build him a second one and sold me his first one. So I bought his first one, and that's when I kind that's when I kind of basically fell in love with just PCs and exactly what you can do with them instead of just office work or watching movies, whatever. Is you can actually play video games and you can do more than just that with them. So they're quite powerful tools. So, and I'm interested in learning everything I can about them and uh, seeing where this road takes me on it.
Okay, so you mentioned the one that you built. What did you say for a brother? I was a little distracted
Well,
checking, but you've done a few of them, right?
yes, I have four completed builds right now that
Okay.
I've done myself, and two of them were for gaming, and one of them I did for my dad. He's just a basic user, but I gave him tried to give him some growing room if he ever chose to do some upgrades or anything. And my very first one that I've done was actually a bunch of used parts that was given to me, and I just wanted to see if I could put them together and make it work, and was successful. So I had some trial and error, lots of trial and error, because I've never done it before.
All right.
So, and for so far, I've not had any unsuccessful things. So just more trial and error than anything. So, and throughout the journey so far, as I've been doing this for a few years now, it's just trying to gather any information about the proper way to do it without all the aggravation. So,
All
well,
right.
as much, I should say.
How much of Carey Holzman's videos would you say you've consumed? Have you been a long time viewer, or are you
Uh,
kind of new with him, or what?
I'm still new.
Okay.
I've watched quite a bit of them, and but it's been less than a year. My dad actually came across of him on YouTube and showed them to me, and that's what got me. And on that is I tried to email him, see what he could recommend, and that's how I ended up. Well, that's how we're here now. So
Okay. Okay. So the builds that you did so far, did you make any money off of them, or did you just do
yeah,
that as volunteer?
yeah, I was just volunteer because
Okay.
from where I'm still new at it,
Absolutely, absolutely. That
you
makes a
know,
lot of sense. You're still new at it, and this should be volunteer level at this point.
basically
Um,
just let me practice and I'll fix anything, replace anything
yeah,
myself if needed. So far, I haven't had to do that.
yeah.
Yeah, well, my personal one, I've done some stuff I probably shouldn't have, but I've corrected through try, but that was all my personal stuff. I haven't had any other people's stuff have issues.
Okay.
So I've made progress. So at least I know I've made some progress.
Okay.
So
Okay. So you said you're interested in going past just putting the stuff together and calling it good. You like to turn it into paying work. So are you thinking self-employed business, or are you thinking finding a job working for somebody else putting the computers together? Where's your thought process?
well, my thought process on that so far is maybe I haven't really decided about my own business or just working somewhere yet, but maybe like side work right now
Yeah.
and seeing how that balloons out and potentially moving forward from there, seeing how things kind of play out. But my whole outlook on it, on what I'm trying to do is I like doing hobbies, and this happens to be something I'm very interested in. And I have other stuff that we can mention later. Um, but computers, it's more of a hobby that I want to turn into paying side work and then potentially become more from there.
Okay.
So, and I haven't decided exactly my own business or working somewhere yet, seeing how things work out.
All right. Um, the Google Earth thing that I had playing before we actually went live, I don't think you saw it, but it has a text description of your town, Tazewell, Tennessee. It's a small town, is it correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a computer PC shop in town? Do you
Uh,
have
we
someone else doing
we
business?
do we do, and I've actually visited him on a few times, mainly to get thermal paste, but uh, and I've tried picking his brains a little bit as well. He's obviously in business; he's doing it for a living, and didn't really. I'm sure he's knowledgeable, but he only lets so much out. So, which I
Yeah.
understand. Get paid for your work, you know. So
Do you have any awareness of how much the businesses in town use Windows computers?
there's quite a few that I'm aware of. I know our school system does, and uh, we do have some realtors around that uses Windows computers. So, and that would be I think that'd be a good starting point, probably.
All right.
So,
An idea comes to my mind that I've thought a few times, and um, the the points of what you've described so far that I see that jump out at me to take advantage of is a small town. I think that's a great advantage for you to be getting um, started when you don't have much credentials or his resume as far as your computer work. You're
right.
interested and you kind of recently became interested. Um, another point to focus on is your level of interest and intrigue. Another point to focus on is there's an aspect of computers in small businesses that is a serious pain point in my observation. If I had somebody in my town offering the service that I'm about to suggest that you consider, I would jump at that and get introduce them to my clients for them to provide that level of service. And in your arena, it could be a foot in the door, and your interest in dealing with the parts in a computer is part of this. So what I'm getting at is cleaning computers and organizing cables and wires.
Yeah.
Almost every office I go into of my clients, the pain point there is that nobody knows or understands how to clean effectively around a computer and organize the cables. Yes, I know how to do that. Yes, I can do that. Yes, I have done that on occasion, but I don't like doing that. And in my
Yeah,
mind,
it can be a pain.
I didn't hear you.
It can be a pain.
Yeah. And I don't think my clients want to pay my hourly rate for that because my specialty is in the operating system and the networking and things like that, but you're not quite there yet. And also, you're not actually operating a full-blown business. So going to the offices and offering for a very affordable fee to clean their computers and organize cables could be a way to get your foot in the door with the businesses. And then they say, hey, do you know how to fix this little thing? And you give that a try. Maybe you don't charge them for that type of work because that's kind of your on-the-job training or learning.
Right.
And you try to fix that and you get better and better at it. And then you can start including those kind of services in your it's a part of your fee structure. Now, in order to do that effectively, you would need to kind of train yourself on the subject, or maybe even we do that during these sessions to effectively clean a computer. So you'd want to have a small but effective vacuum cleaner. You'd want to have a small but effective, probably battery-powered leaf blower. You would probably be shut the computer down, disconnect the cables, take pictures of where the cables connect, because you will be surprised on occasion that it's not obvious where the cables connect because there's so many different types of configurations. So then you take the computer outside, you bring with you a decent little table that you can set it on. You're not going to be crawling down on the ground outside. That just doesn't look prepared or professional. You want to try to do this in a way that feels reasonably professional. So then you would open the computer up, do some vacuuming, do some blowing, have a can of compressed air to get into the really tight areas. You put it back together, you do some cleaning of the metal parts, you're prepared with materials to clean keyboards and mice. The keyboards and mice in offices, they are sometimes so gross. And people don't notice it, don't realize it, because it's just, they just develop a blindness to it. But once they see you take a good cleaning cloth over it and see how much crud comes off of it, they're going to say, oh my God, I'm glad we found you. So you put it back together under the desk, and then you have a few things with you with either zip ties or twist ties or Velcro straps or what's this sheathing tubing type of thing that you can easily and quickly stick the wires in to make them neater. A lot of computers in offices have the wires are such a mess under the desk that the cleaning crew doesn't even run the vacuums around that area because they're afraid of knocking something loose. So you fix it up better so that the people can sit at their desk without their feet getting tangled in the wires. That's a useful service that I haven't seen anybody providing. And that's a way to get to know the businesses. Oh, you know what? I got to take a moment. I didn't ask my chat room for AVDW. So that's audio visual DVR and my watch. My watch is off. And I'm looking to see if anyone's got... Yeah, boy, we got a lot of comments here. I want to see if I can get it over here on this computer. This computer's kind of, yesterday and today is kind of doing a freaky thing with video. Can I do just the chat so that I'm looking toward it? Yeah, it looks like that's working. Maximize that. Okay, so I just a little interaction with chat. I already typed hello to a bunch of people, so I'm looking through here. There's some birthday wishes still for Catherine. Her birthday was yesterday. Then Ken Stout, that's so cool, that effect. I hope he's referring to my Google Earth. And birthday, 8tex is here, so he was caring about my watch. And Catherine, 8tex. Catherine says, I gladly help you too, Jason, with PC parts. I love doing PC parts lists. Are you aware of who Catherine Holzman is?
And can't say that I am.
Okay, she's active in Carey's channel and she's active in my channel, and you just haven't been around to be aware of her. But she helps people with parts lists for custom build PCs, and she does that for free.
Right.
She just loves doing it, and so she's saying right here she's ready to help you with PC parts lists.
Nice.
Let's see, Gary's saying hello to Catherine. So we got Gary and Aaron in the chat room. Those are my two. I came up with a word for this. Let's see.
They're regulars.
No, not regulars. No, these are a little level above that. They are production assistants.
Oh, okay.
Production assistants. Now, what that means is they have my cell phone number, and they can send me a text if something's going wrong with the live stream, or if something's going wrong with the video or the audio, or if the stream goes offline, they can send me a text message and it comes through my phone. But I have to not be wearing my watch for that to work. Does that strike you weird?
That's weird. Never heard of that.
Yeah. I have to take off my watch for the cell phone to play the ringtone that I selected for Gary.
It's sending the notifications through the watch, so, and not through regular.
Right. If I'm wearing the watch, it'll just do a little vibration on the watch.
Right. Mine does the same thing.
That's not enough to get my attention. Okay, so let's moving on. Let's see, Gary, Catherine, cleaning, organizing, yes. Also, labeling the PC when it was built is important. Okay, good.
Good idea.
Catherine saying good idea, directing that at me. Catherine says leaf blower, yes. Have you seen Carey? Well, I did a leaf blower too, but Carey Holzman.
Yeah, I think I've seen one of his videos where he did just that, and I was like, well, why not? It's not trash. It's not, it works.
Well, that's one of the many things that I picked up from him. And Carey and I have been in the tech support business for a similar amount of time, which is about 30 years. And but I pick up things from him. Of course, I've seen a lot more of his videos than he's seen of mine, because I'm new with videos. So I'm hoping along the way he might pick up some things from me. But I've picked up a lot of things from him. Zwei Manor, happy birthday to Catherine. Frankie, also remember to label the cables. So that's an interesting idea too, because when you go to disconnect the cables, it could be helpful to you and helpful for the people for you to label the cables of where they go to, because I often have times where I ask people to disconnect the USB cable for their printer from the computer, and they have a hard time figuring out which cable that is, because they run through holes in the desk and they're all similar appearance. So having labels with you already
ready to go,
printed, ready to go, and you just wrap them around the cable. Boom, boom, boom. You just have this very efficient way of doing this piece, this piece, this piece, this piece, and then you leave maybe you get it down to 30 minutes. You leave and they just have under the desk experience or wherever their computer is that is just so much nicer, and they feel that all day long. They have customers or clients come into their offices and they see this nice organized computer area and they say, wow, who does that for you? And now Jason's got a new client.
Next thing you know. I can see where I was going.
Yeah. So let's see what else we got. Ada says ADV is okay. And Aaron says ADV is good. All working good from Frankie. Catherine, yes, I do gladly help. Jason and Zwei Manor. I only found out yesterday. Okay, that's something between that. I'm not sure. Carey has a leaf blower array. A leaf blower array. I'm not sure what that means. Catherine, my hero, once again, there you are. She's got a message in the chat asking everybody to like the video. And Catherine says word of mouth is the best, cheap, and fast too. She's absolutely right about that. Offering some services for free when you're brand new is a justifiable thing. Like you might go into the first office and, hey, I'm starting a business cleaning up computers and desk areas and arranging the cables and such. And I need some people who will let me take before and after pictures and let me use them in my advertising. Can I do one of yours for free, and with you allowing me to use before and after pictures to help me in my marketing? You're going to get some takers on that. Maybe some people are going to say, no, we don't know you, or maybe in a small town, maybe they do know you. So, that's where my thinking goes.
Shot, so
yeah.
It's worth a shot.
Yeah. It's a way to get your foot in the door with doing more stuff with computers at a level that I suspect you can develop a competence in a short period of time. Now, I'm saying develop a competence. Maybe some people think what I'm describing doesn't take much training or experience, but I think it does. And I think you're at a good place to be able to prepare for that, because you've done work with computers already. You've done work with your own computers and helped other people. So the idea of where to plug things into probably doesn't sound like much a challenge to you right now, but you perhaps haven't come across devices that must be connected to a USB 3 port, not a USB 2 port. You probably haven't come across different kinds of scanners that might be at a person's desk. Maybe label printers, maybe a credit card reader. So you could come across computers that are connected to IP phone systems, where the Ethernet cable doesn't come from the wall, it comes from the phone. And were you already aware of that? So you may come across some surprises.
Yeah, I can. Some of that stuff, definitely could use more experience on.
Mm-hmm.
Different kinds of printers and scanners and the IP phone lines. Last time I think we had that was when AOL was out.
Yeah.
And that's which we didn't have AOL for long. I was a teenager back then, not really caring enough to really remember much about it. Hey, this is cool. We're getting on the internet. Versus now.
Another thing that you could include in this, and I would suggest don't do this right away, because this is a little bit of equipment and money investment. Not huge deal, but just don't overcomplicate your beginning. You're beginning with cleaning the computers, arranging the cables, and maybe having a few different ways to deal with those cables is enough. But the next level thing would be to have an inventory of alternate cables, because sometimes what happens with that big mess under a person's desk is they've got a power cable going from the computer to a surge protector that's about 1.5 feet away from the computer, and they've got a 6-foot long power cable coiled under the desk or just sloppily laying under the desk. So if you can pull out that power cable and replace it with a 1.5 foot long power cable, well, now you're reducing the amount of clutter under their desk. Right. Same thing true with Ethernet cables and
that could apply to really any kind of cable.
Right. Right. And there's also something I've come across is where I sit down at a person's desk and their mouse is way up here. And I try to move it back towards me because that's a ridiculous ergonomic thing to be reaching forward for your mouse. But the cable's not long enough, or the cable's tangled underneath the desk. Now, if it's just that the cable's not long enough, then maybe you put an extension, or maybe you find some other way to route it, or maybe the computer gets positioned differently. Another advancement in this whole business idea would be different kinds of computer stands under the desk so that the computer's not sitting directly on the floor. And you explain to them, what happens if your office has a water flood, a water pipe breaks? Well, if we can get that computer just a couple inches up off of the floor, then that's going to help a lot. And also, some of them will have wheels on them so you can roll it around, people can vacuum under it, stuff like that. So anyway, there's a whole bunch of ideas that have been in my mind that I wish I had somebody available that could do that kind of work for my clients.
That's actually, I do really like that idea because you just don't hear about people doing any kind of cable management.
Right.
And I've seen, I've looked up different pictures and videos of people who've done their own stuff, and when they go to pull that cover off, it's just looks like a rat's nest
Right.
of just cables everywhere. It drives me nuts.
Right.
Just seeing just like everybody just took all their stuff and just threw it at it and said work, and
Yeah.
you could have just routed something a certain way and it looked better. All my, that's something I've done on my own stuff is routing stuff for a clean look.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect. You've already done it for yourself. So you have a mind for that. Now, your first client or two, if you do the before and after pictures and get their permission, then you just go back home or maybe to a copy center store, wherever, so you can get a hold of a color printer and just print it out in a very simple flyer. Now, the next office you go into, I'm starting a new business. Here's what I'm doing with taking a computer setup and mess that looks like this and clean it up and show them before and after pictures inside the computer case. And if you can come up with like $25, $30, $40 per computer and spend half an hour once you're really good and fast at doing
Right.
it. That sounds really viable for a,
I can
on the
see
side
that.
business. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that. I'll
All
probably
right.
start there and that'd be a good starting point at least.
Yeah.
Saying how I think that'll work out very nicely.
All right.
Actually,
Let me look a little more at chat here. So Catherine answers my question. Carey has more than one leaf blower. That's what she meant by array. I kind of thought that might be it, but I haven't seen that.
I was wondering about the word array. Like, well, is she meaning like a library of books, meaning multiple?
Yeah.
But,
well, with my programming background, I think of array and I think of rows and columns. So it's like there with leaf blowers, it'd be one row of gas-driven leaf blowers, another row of corded leaf blowers, another row of battery-operated leaf blowers.
Hey,
She's just saying he's got more than one, I think. Now here's something fun. Ken Stout says Carey cleans the desktop using a leaf blower. So you know how people have all this mess of icons on their Windows desktop? Yeah. So I guess he's saying to take the leaf. I don't think that's what he means. It must be blowing off the physical desktop, I think is what Ken means.
Maybe pulling the cover off to get out spider webs and loose dust. Yeah.
So I think if you want to follow this, I would love to follow your progress through my channel, because you can give us reports about how people are reacting. We can talk about challenges that you came across, some kind, you show us some of the before and after pictures, and myself and people in the chat might have suggestions of other variations, and you might become the father of this type of business for other people who see your videos and decide to do that in their own town.
That's
That'd be a kick.
there's a lot of potential
That'd
here.
be a kick in the pants. And you were making comments about your own YouTube channel. You have a YouTube channel
Right.
already.
Yeah, I
So
do.
if you're doing more of this type of content on
I can
your
actually
own
upload.
channel,
Yeah, I can
yeah,
actually upload them on mine, and we can actually probably link together on that somehow.
yeah.
I'm still learning
Mm,
on the whole YouTube thing. I've only got a handful up right now of
yeah.
different things I've done. But I'm an interrupt. That's
All
about the
right.
best way I can put it.
So here I got Catherine says, always try, never give up, Jason. Catherine says, once it is cleaned up, they have an easier time figuring things out. And you too, so less downtime. With this argument, you can sell your services, Jason. And then let's see, Aaron says, great point, Catherine. And I agree. Absolutely. Catherine again, learn how to make your own network cables, Jason. You need a good crimping tool.
Yeah,
So do not buy the cheapest. Now, there's an idea because the distance from their wall outlet to their computer just might not fit the distance of pre-made cables. So if you make up custom length cables, that could be a cool thing.
I actually know a guy that can help me on that.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a guy.
All right.
Yeah,
And
I'm gonna be
then,
calling him up shortly.
yeah, part of that also could be rerouting the way their cables run at various points in their office. So Ken asks, what is the population of the city that you're in?
Honestly, I don't know the number.
Okay,
It's
the blurb that was running during the preface to this video running, I think said 2010 population like 2000 something like that, and then it gave a more recent number. So I'm guessing it's probably somewhere from
I would
between
say
2 to
probably
5,000.
that's what I was thinking too. But I just don't. That's something I don't really ever pay attention to.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
maybe I should, but I don't.
yeah. And it's quite possible that you might be able to gravitate fairly easily into doing more keyboard help for them, and possibly with coming back to our chat room here for some help and guidance, because in a small town like that, there might be a strong thirst for somebody that can help businesses with their computers. Just depends upon how much there is. You said there's one store there, but as you start encountering businesses and talking to them, you're going to find out
Right.
whether they have good tech support or not. And that'll give you some guidance of whether you're going to step into that quickly. Now, if they do have good help with that, it's quite likely that you can get linked up with those service providers, and they might turn you on to their clients for doing the cleanup and cable management stuff. And then also those contacts, those degree of contacts could wind up becoming customers for custom build PCs.
Right.
Because you just have conversations with them, and you may come across an opening for that. Now let me go on here, because I know these people in my chat room, they've got great input, so I don't want to miss that. Let's see. Oh, okay. Ken is laughing about using the leaf blower on the desktop icons. Frankie B.
Hey, if it works, right?
Yeah, if it works. Uh, let's see. So Frankie B saying focus on getting your feet on the ground with this to get started. I think it's referring to not taking on more than you can chew right away. And then
Right.
from Ada, let's see, network cables, excellent ideas. Also needs a good cable tester. My husband did the cables for me when I installed on clients. Now I am retired from that. Okay, great. And Blackwatch. Hi, Jason and all. Hello, Blackwatch. Good to see you. And then Ken saying hello to Blackwatch. Catherine, correct. She's responding to Ada. Have this. Oh, about the tester. She's saying that the model from Klein is the smallest tester, but very good for her needs. Another hello to Blackwatch, and Blackwatch responding to a couple of hellos. Okay, great. Okay. All right. You had hinted before we started the video about telling a little bit about your background, maybe even turning the camera around, showing us where you're coming to us from, and let them know that there's no firing squad on the other side of this brick wall.
Yeah. Yeah, there's I actually do have just a little bit of scenery. First of all, I'm using my cell phone because I don't have a webcam at the moment, or I'd be on my PC.
All right.
So anyway, I've been sitting on let me turn this camera around real quick. See if I can. No, that didn't work out the way I thought. I'll just do it this way. Here's my scenery. I've been sitting right down here, cross-legged the whole time.
Oh.
So my legs are going to sleep on me.
Yeah,
so,
I could not do that. So
that's why I've been kind of squirming a little bit. So
right.
I do have my own flower bed, as you can see. But yeah, that's something else that's really cool. Right over here, there's a veterans memorial set up, and I'm a huge veteran person.
Oh, okay, great.
So, because I did serve, but I'm not going to get into that right now.
Well, we're gonna get into that for this much. Thank you for your service.
Okay. Oh well, you're welcome.
Okay, and I'm sure that chat's gonna hit us up with that too.
Yeah, that's something I don't know. There's a lot to touch bases on that. I'm sure a lot of people has their own opinions, and they should. So, but a little background on me is, what got a little tongue twisted, but my actual profession right now is, I'm a welder. I weld for a living.
Okay.
So, and that's actually kind of something that's on my YouTube channel. It's I got several welding videos on there that I've done, and from work and things on the side, I weld stuff on the side too for people that need it. And that's one service that I've already been doing for a while now. I just haven't posted a lot of it on YouTube as well. I just started doing YouTube recently. So, and I'm looking at adding computers to that, computer work. Okay. But yeah, I don't know what else to add to that.
Okay, so let's, how do people find your YouTube channel?
I've just been telling people as I come across them. I'll put it on Facebook. Hey, I got a YouTube channel.
No. People in the chat room are going to want to go check out your YouTube channel. How do they find it?
Oh, my bad. I misunderstood you. It's called Legend Projects.
Legend?
Yes.
Project.
Legend Project. Because it's just a projects channel. As projects come up, I put them up. So.
All right. And, I'm looking at this. Whoops.
Yeah.
Is this it? I'm seeing May 22nd, the last upload showing a 4x4 truck, it looks like.
Yes. Yeah,
that looks like it.
That one yesterday.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and punch that up on my screen so people can see how they can find your YouTube channel. And there we go. So if you search YouTube for Legend Projects, and this is what you're expecting to find. And he's currently got 3 subscribers.
Yeah.
So for those of you interested, go check out his channel. And coming back to Jason.
Please leave comments and stuff for me so I can work on getting better. So I got a ways to go, I know, but please comment.
Hey,
So
start small, get better.
that's hey, that's I think
Start,
this is a
yeah,
good way to think that we start. So
one foot in front of the other. Let me catch up a little bit here with chat. Ken says, I actually used some of your methods this morning remotely with a friend in Escondido, California, that was having issues with their laptop. Thank you so much. You're welcome, Ken. Glad to know that. Thank you for letting me know. Blackwatch says, I don't have a camera either, Jason. Aaron says, thank you for your service. Catherine, if Jason likes, you can gladly forward my info to Jason if he likes it. So that would be her contact information for help with selecting parts. Yes, I'll do that. I'll do that, Catherine. From Ken to Jason, thank you for your service. Catherine says, thank you for your service, Jason. Frankie B, Jason, thank you for the service. Catherine, could you put it on through chat? I think she's put it on through chat. Do you mean your contact information, Catherine, or do you mean Jason's channel? Ken Stout, now four. Not sure. Ada Rivera says, Jason, thank you for your service. Ken Stout, link to Jason's YouTube. Okay, yes. And Gary, sorry it took so long to reply, but employees cost too much to have them making cables. Gary's answering to Catherine and to me. Sorry it took so long to reply, but employees cost too much to have them making cables. I'm guessing, and I'm sorry, Gary, I'm not aware that you are in the computer business and you don't want your employees to make cables. And I agree entirely. I avoid making cables myself. I go ahead and use the factory manufactured cables. But I don't put effort and time into cleaning up under the desktop and making it more aesthetically pleasing. A person who's focusing a business on that could work. Sangoat says DVR want enabled. I did enable it. It is enabled. Sangoat is saying DVR want enabled. I'm showing it is enabled. Could somebody else check on that? Ken Stout is saying subs. I think that means he just subbed your channel, Jason. Catherine, Jason's channel I meant. Oh, that's what she wants. Yes. Let me just I'll switch back over here, and here is the URL. So I'll paste this URL into chat. So that should be clickable. You should be able to click on that and go straight to his channel. Good idea. Thank you, Catherine. Blackwatch has thumbs up and a couple of peace emojis directed to you, Jason. Aaron to Sangoat says DVR is enabled. Catherine to Gary, Jason will do the cables himself, but some links are hard to come by. And you probably should have an inventory of cable links too. Of manufactured cable links. Okay, so there I'm caught up. All right. So I have an 11 o'clock obligation coming up. So I'm thinking we should focus on anything we want to cover that we haven't covered yet. I feel pretty good about my thoughts out to you. You seem intrigued or interested.
Yes, I got a good bit of information out of this to at least get me going on something. To see, be a good starting point for me to see how things go and see what things turn of it.
Yeah. Now I'll make a comment. I've see you're in Tennessee, so I have no idea what the businesses would be like that you'd be walking into. But as general guidance, I think is really fair to say is you should be dressed similar to the client, similar or better than the clientele that you're going into. This is kind of a little personal. What issue to me is that I've seen the computer support industry get a reputation of showing up at an attorney's office with shorts and a t-shirt, and I think a lot of business people are going to be dissuaded from that, uninterested in that. So if you can, I'm guessing that in Tennessee, a small town, it's pretty fairly relaxed dress code.
Yes.
But just be sure that you're giving an appearance when you go in that they
Dress
feel
accordingly.
comfortable with you being mixed in there with, behind their counter and in their inner sanctum of their business would be my suggestion, because you will have, some potential clients that care more about that than others. And it's just, how many yeses do you want to get from people? So there's that. Let's see. So cables 5 feet to 300 feet. Gary's saying we can get cables those lengths. Darren just subbed. Blackwatch. Lunch with Bill Gates, he's suggesting for you to try doing that.
Well, give me his number and I'll call him up.
He's got JK on the end of that for just kidding. But yeah, he says lunch with Bill Gates. Can stout Blackwatch, yes, with grilled chicken. Yeah, okay, so I think it's that's for the lunch. And some laughing emojis.
That sounds pretty good, actually. I got a grill right next to him, so I'll
all right,
go ahead
very good.
Right up.
Very good. So you and I kind of bounced around the idea a little bit that we might have regular weekly sessions.
I would not be opposed to that.
I would not be opposed to that either. So we did Sunday at, this is 10 a.m. My time, Pacific time, and you're in
It is
Tennessee Eastern, so you were...
I got 1:47 for me
yeah,
at the moment.
so you were 1 p.m.
That's the time difference.
Start time. So the way we'll accomplish that is we should have an email exchange between us, preferably on Saturday, just to confirm that we're both still on board with a Sunday session. And let's see how this develops in your mind. I mean, you might, by the time we come back next week, you might actually have a client for this work. You might have done it, or you might have just kind of started gathering your ideas and thoughts about it. And it doesn't matter what level you're at. If you feel like you're putting one foot in front of the other and you want to go down this path, then let's do another session.
Okay. I'm totally down.
All right. Very good. Well, I think we're going to call this a wrap. And I'll just ask you to look straight at your camera and say thank you to the chat room and goodbye.
Well, I thank every one of you for having me. Even you too, Doug.
All right. We'll go ahead and sign off here. I'm going to switch to this camera. And so there's my email address if you want to reach out to me for anything. And we'll go ahead and sign off. So I hope this was useful for you. Have a great day. Catch you later. Goodbye.